Hello everybody, welcome to the Steckline Report. Well, we've been a little bit on our high horse about news media over the past report or two, and we're going to continue that just a little bit this time on our Steckline Report. So thanks for being with us. I'll be back in 60 seconds to talk about that and other things.
I first got started in the cattle business. My wife and my father-in-law got me into it. I love dealing with the animals and being in the outdoors. At American Ag Credit, I know a lot of them are in the same business that I am. Therefore they understand what I need and what problems I'm against, so they can work with you on it, and it makes it much easier.
It's been passed down to me through the generations, and I want to pass it on down to the next generation or two.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the little red tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Straub International can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horse ranging from 30 to 140, plus an army of attachments, a Farmall can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing, and then some. Visit Straub International, your Case IH dealer at any of our 7 locations, to find a Farmall that's right for you.
Well, folks, another case in point about media being misrepresenting agriculture across this country, and especially with these big newspapers, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Washington Post. Forbes billionaires, listen to this, Forbes billionaires reaped millions in farm subsidies. That was a headline in one of the papers just recently, and they talked about these millionaires grabbing all that tax money, and they were partly true, but they just forgot to tell you that it was 10 to 12 years ago when they did that, because it's been stopped since then. Isn't this something? I want to thank DTN and some of those people for digging out this information and getting it for us. Since 2008, friends, since 2008, only 2 or 3 of the farms owned by billionaires had received any farm payments at all, and it totaled about $185,000. Well, that was $185,000 they shouldn't have gotten, in my opinion. Those farms don't need it. They shouldn't get it. But I got to tell you, $185,000 is a long ways from something like $11.3 million that the headline was talking about. Hoodwinking the public, the people that don't understand agriculture. It's a sad state of affairs. I hope someday agriculture can do something about it, because in the last 100 years we've been unable to. Well, it looks like the bankers are a little bit concerned about the agricultural economy. Just looked at the American Bankers Association's National Ag Bankers Conference, and they talked a lot about agricultural financing and their concern. Several questions about what's going to happen with some of these farms that have spent a lot of money for, first of all, the land, and then spent a lot of money on farm machinery because they had it because of good prices, and now that prices have come down, there's a little nervousness on the side of the bankers, and I can imagine that. We've been talking about it here with American Ag Credit and several other people. I think they're all somewhat concerned about what might happen. And even as I look at this information, they do say that there's a minor tick upward in farm debt now, which was not the case just a few months ago, and that's probably getting lenders a little bit more nervous. So the reason I talk about this, farmers, is when you go to borrow some money, be aware they might have a little bit different outlook, although I'm sure they're still willing to work with you. In the meantime, speaking of that, we've got a problem. We're not going to save near as much money by buying machinery from here on out after this year. Doesn't look like it, friends. And we're talking about, of course, the expiration of Section 179, the bonus depreciation rules, in which we were able to depreciate something like $1 million to begin with this last year, 2013, that we're in, as much as $500,000 of farm machinery right off the first year. That's a lot of tax savings. Just to give you a quick example, if you bought $1 million worth of equipment this year with a 40% tax rate, you could write off 77% of the cost in 1 year. That's right. That's in 2013. That would save you about $337,000. If that's the case next year and we don't have this, and it doesn't look like we're going to, but if we don't have this depreciation allowable, it'll save about $62,000. Big difference from $337,000 to $62,000 in savings. In fact, one person says you need to come up with an extra $250,000 of U.S. cash to make that purchase next year versus this year. Keep it in mind, friends, as we head towards the end of this year. I don't believe, is what I hear right now, that we've got a chance to keep that depreciation going. Thanks for being with us on the Steckline Report.